Hi, Anita, how are you?
Right. All these lefties are moving forward.
The guys from the would try to get something done
Good evening. The November 15th, 2018 meeting of the City of Long Branch Council will now come to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler will be absent this evening. Mr. Vieira.
Here.
Dr. Vogt.
Here.
Dr. Selly.
Here.
Mrs. Wittes.
Here. Please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Of previous minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of October 24th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Vieira.
Yes.
Dr. Vogt.
Yes.
Dr. Selly.
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes.
Yes. Consideration of ordinances, public hearing, and final consideration. This is the second reading of ordinance 21-18 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 173-5C fire prevention of the Code of the City of Long Branch, increasing fees. This ordinance was introduced on October 24th, 2018. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? If there is anyone in the audience that has a comment to make regarding this ordinance, please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. See no one? I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? This is the third reading of ordinance 21-18 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 173-5C fire prevention of the Code of the City of Long Branch, increasing fees. I need a motion to adopt on third and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Vieira.
Yes.
Dr. Vogt.
Yes.
Dr. Selly.
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes.
Yes. This is the second reading of ordinance 23-18 entitled an ordinance granting a 5-year tax exemption to Manuel Serra for a development project of property located at 45 Ocean Terrace and designated as Block 302, Lot 19. This ordinance was introduced on October 24th, 2018. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? If there's anyone in the audience that has a comment to make regarding this ordinance, please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. See none? I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the third reading of ordinance 23-18 entitled an ordinance granting a 5-year tax exemption to Manuel Serra for a development project of property located at 45 Ocean Terrace and designated as Block 302, Lot 19. I need a motion to adopt on third and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Vieira.
Yes.
Dr. Vogt.
Yes.
Dr. Selly.
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes.
Yes. This is the second reading of ordinance 24-18 entitled an ordinance creating the City of Long Branch Code Chapter 262, Article 3, to establish an abandoned property list pursuant to NJSI 5519-55. This ordinance was introduced on October 24th, 2018. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? If there is anyone in the audience that has a comment to make regarding this ordinance, please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You have 5 minutes and may only speak once. I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? This is the third reading of ordinance 24-18 entitled an ordinance creating the City of Long Branch Code Chapter 262, Article 3 to establish an abandoned property list pursuant to NJSI 5519-55. I need a motion to adopt on third and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. This is the second reading of ordinance 25-18 entitled an ordinance creating Chapter 262, Article 3 of the Code of the City of Long Branch to require foreclosing creditors to care for and maintain the exterior of vacant and abandoned properties during the pendency of a foreclosure action. This ordinance was introduced on October 24, 2018. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? If there's anyone in the audience that has a comment to make regarding this ordinance, please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You'll have 5 minutes and may only speak once. I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? This is the third reading of ordinance 25-18 entitled an ordinance creating Chapter 262, Article 3 of the Code of the City of Long Branch to require foreclosing creditors to care for and maintain the exterior of vacant and abandoned properties during the pendency of a foreclosure action. I need a motion to adopt on third and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. This is the second reading of ordinance 26-18 entitled an ordinance creating a new Chapter 262, Article 3 in the Code of the City of Long Branch to implement a vacant property registration process. This ordinance was introduced on October 24, 2018. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? If there's anyone in the audience that has a comment to make regarding this ordinance, please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. See none? This is the third reading of ordinance 26-18 entitled an ordinance creating a new Chapter 262, Article 3 in the Code of the City of Long Branch to implement a vacant property registration process. I need a motion to adopt on third and final reading and advertise according to the law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. And thank you, Mr. Renaud, for acting so quickly on this, and we really appreciate it.
Sure.
It's going to make a big difference in Long Branch. Ordinances for introduction, there are none. Public participation for resolutions on and all general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? If anyone in the audience has any comments to make, please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
My name is Randy Phillips. I live at 161 Avenue Boulevard, Long Branch, New Jersey. About a month ago, I believe, I addressed the mayor and council in reference to the opening at the Long Branch Housing Authority for the Board of Commissioners. And I expressed that you certainly had the right to choose who you wanted for the position because it's your position and you have the authority to do so. And at the end of the meeting, I was told that I would be getting a letter explaining the reason for the person being chosen. When I received the letter, I was a little taken aback by the letter. The letter stated, Thank you for applying for the Housing Authority position for the City of Long Branch. After reviewing resumes for this position, the mayor and council identified those applicants whose skills and experience most closely match the board's needs. Unfortunately, all vacancies have been filled. We certainly appreciate the time you spent during the application process. I'm really kind of confused with the letter. First of all, you knew my experience at the Housing Authority for 25 years, and you knew the work, some of you knew the work that I did at the Housing Authority for 25 years. You also knew the work that I did in this city since I've been here, actually since high school. And then to look at the young lady's resume that you appointed to the board that you said had more skills and experience, who was a clerk, I think at the library at the present time, and who worked for the Board of Education prior to that. I don't understand what the skills and experience that she possesses more so than mine. I don't care about being on the board, but I just want the board and the mayor to be fair and upright when you do something. You don't put on paper you want somebody with more skills and experience that have no skills and experience in the board position. Now, what you've told to me as a citizen of Long Branch is that there's no position that I could ever serve in for the city of Long Branch because all of my experience was in housing, extensive experience in housing, and certainly if I can't be placed on the Housing Authority board, I can't be placed on any other board. Can you explain to me what the skills and experience this young lady has? Anyone? No one? Except for the last thing that on her resume, she says she supervises 2 people. My last 3 years before I retired, I ran the Asbury Park Housing Authority for 3 years as interim director. That was about 55 people. I relocated all the people in the Long Branch Housing Authority. It just blows my mind. Can anybody explain that to me? No one? Well, I'll move to the next item. When Yvonne Mann was up for appointment, she was told that she could not be reappointed because she did not live in Long Branch. Now, I understand there's 2 people on the board that don't live in Long Branch. I know Mike Winnick has lived in West Long Branch for almost 2 years, and he's still on the board. And I know that Andres Magia, I believe he lives in Oceanport, and he's on the board. I don't understand how that can be. Is that a fact? Those people don't live in Long Branch?
Do you want to explain the grandfather or how that worked?
I think, Mr. Phillips, you're talking about the new ordinance that was adopted, and the ordinance applies to new appointments to the board. So the ordinance didn't operate to knock people off the boards that are there. The council has decided that going.
I would like to have a copy of that ordinance, because what you're saying to
You can get it
me.
from the clerk's office.
Excuse me?
You can get it from the clerk's office.
Okay, what you're saying then is if you see something, let's say the state trooper sees a car speeding up the highway doing 100 miles an hour, then he shouldn't say anything until he reaches his designation. You know, they should just let it go and break the law.
No, that's not what we're saying, Mr. Phillips. I think what we're saying
Well,
is
that's the way I take it.
if we change the speed limit on the street, we can't go
I'm
back
not-
20 years and get everybody who was going fast before the speed limit got changed. I think
Okay.
that's what we're talking about.
And I also have in my possession 2013 New Jersey Revised Statutes Title 40A, Municipalities and Council, Creation of Housing Authority, the boards for Housing Authority.
Mr. Phillips, thank
And
you
it-
for your time.
Excuse me?
Thank you for your time. Your
I-
5 minutes is up.
My time?
Yes, sir.
All right, I just want to make this one point. The Housing Authority, the state of New Jersey
sorry.
states, no more than 1 member of the Housing Authority may be an officer or employee of the municipality or
Phillips?
county by which the authority is created.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Yes, but did you catch that though? And I think you have 3 people from the that a city employee is on the board.
Phillips, I'm sorry, your time is out.
Would you please address that? I know the time is a little up, but this is a very important matter. Could you please address that? Could you?
Is there anyone else that would like to come forward?
I get no address? Nobody has an answer for anything?
Mr. Phillips, your time is up. Thank you.
But your time is not up, though. You have time
I
to
have no
speak.
comment right now.
You have time to
Is there
speak.
anyone
Can somebody address the issues?
Is there anyone else that would like to approach the council?
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Congratulations on your last victory. I haven't seen you guys in a while.
See you, Mike.
Mike Bland, 325 Bath Avenue, Long Branch, New Jersey. Just want to bring something to my attention, as you guys may be well aware of. I haven't been home in a while. I had the honor and distinction of electing Jahana Hayes as the first member of Congress, African-American member of Congress.
Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you. Keep the streak alive, right? So I just say it's because I was frustrated, and I could have called any one of you, but I just think in the manner in which something was handled, I said I just wanted to come to you guys as a council, and because I trust your integrity, and I feel like if I tell you guys, it'll be addressed. I wasn't home for no more than 12 hours. I was home that Wednesday, and I went to my favorite coffee shop, which wasn't 7-Eleven, it was a Rook, right? We all love our Rook. And I went to the one by the hospital. And as I make a right turn off of Bath into the hospital, I guess there was a guy from the fire marshal. So I make a right and he was making a left. So I come in and he followed me around. And so I go to pull up right where the circle is in the hospital. And he pulls up next to me, he says, "You can't park there." I says, "Okay, great. I'll go park over there where there's parking by the hospital." He said, "You can't park over there." I said, "There's 3 spots. I can park over there." And he got a little nasty with me. And I said, "Look, cool. I'll go find somewhere else to park." So again, it's like 7:30 in the morning. I just wanted a good couple. I kid you not, I texted and I was literally running in and running back out. So I park on what I believe is Long Branch Ave, or I think, it's Long Branch or 3rd, one of the two. And so I walk over. And so when I walk over to go on a cup of coffee, not only did I see, I'll get to that point later, but I go in to get my coffee, what the same place I was told not to park, the fire marshal parked. And not only did he park there, I look across the circle where he told me I can't park, where clearly I could park, and it wasn't marked off as it wasn't yellow painted or whatever. There was another city vehicle there as well. So me being me, I waited. I waited 10 minutes. I waited 20 minutes. I said, okay, that's fine. I finished my cup of coffee. I took a picture. Not only did I take a picture where the cop or where the fire marshal was, I also took a picture of a few other cars that were parked there as well. I think what concerned me was, I'm not going to go into semantics, but one, the way I was approached. And nobody in the city should be approached the way, or talked to the way in which I was addressed by a guy who represented the city. That was a big concern of mine. Secondly, for him to tell me to park there, for him to tell me not to park there, but for him to park there, and believe it or not, I asked a cop, and it was a cop who I went to high school with, who I won't name. I said, "Hey, let me ask you a question. If it's an emergency, right, or if not emergency, can he park there?" She goes, "Well, he can kind of do whatever he, so pleases, but he should, he's supposed to abide by the law just like everybody else." And she said, "If you're running to get your coffee, he shouldn't have bothered you. Like, you were literally running." I said, "Hey, I just literally texted my coffee and was ready to pick up. I'm literally running in and running back out." And I was just bothered, again, by the way I was approaching. I'm looking at all the other vehicles. I said, well, I guess he didn't tell nobody else to move. And there's a city vehicle parked parallel to him on the other side of the hospital in a circle. So long story short, I go down to the fire marshal's office, and I said, well, I'll go there, because I wanted to address him and just say, look, bottom line, doesn't matter who it is, you shouldn't talk to anybody like that. Doesn't matter what I have on, doesn't matter what I look like, doesn't matter, that shouldn't matter. And so he wasn't there. I guess he had just left, and the ladies were very respectful. They would say, "No, we get it. We get it. We agree with you." And so I was frustrated. I told a few others. They said, "No, It's not that really big of a deal. It's a big deal to me because I know you guys got elected off of integrity and doing things differently. And I said, the only reason why I'm saying this because I promised him I was going to come and address it to the mayor and council. Because if he's doing that to me, he's a fire marshal, and there was somebody, again, I won't name who worked in the office, that said sometimes they have a God complex. That's a problem. Because I can only imagine if he's talking to me like that, I'm just getting a cup of coffee. You know, there's trickle-down effects everywhere. So I hope that it can be resolved. I'm not looking for a response. You guys know me well enough. I could have handled it completely differently, but I didn't. But I did take pictures that I could send or email to all of you of his car and the city vehicle across that was adjacent as well.
So, Mike, can you stay after the meeting? And I apologize, but I would just like to hear the story in a little more detail. So
Sure.
okay.
Absolutely.
And address it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
Thanks.
Hi, Rice Canetto. I wanted to ask if you guys can make sure that we find a way to put the police department in touch and in communication with the transportation department at the school district. Had a scary situation today where, you know, all know my son, 17 years old, autistic, goes to a out-of-district school. The transportation bus company left him at the school in Marlboro, and I was unable to reach him, the school, the transportation office for over an hour in the bad snow. The only person I could reach who was amazing is Christine Carducci, but I called the police because I didn't know what else to do. The bus sent me a text and said he didn't get on the van and was basically like, oh well, that's it. So when I called the police, they were like, what do you want us to do? And I was driving in the snowstorm trying to make my way there, not knowing if he had gotten on another bus, if maybe someone had drove him home, if they lost electricity, because, you know, Collier's up there on the hill. And, you know, everybody talks to us about registering for the...
Bryce, can you just lower that? I think
Yes.
getting the feedback
Yeah.
off that.
Everyone tells us, you know, as parents to register for the special needs registry, and my son's been getting to know the neighborhoods, and I've been introducing him to as many officers as I can so he knows them. So for today to have him lost and not know where he is for an hour, if you don't know where your kid is for 5 minutes, it feels like a lifetime. So if we can make sure that the transportation office, the school district is in touch with the police department, or there's some way to reach somebody, because this was 4 o'clock in the afternoon and nobody was answering. And I know it was a very challenging day here in Long Branch. There was a lot going on. But this has happened to my son a couple times over the years. So I think as parents, we should be able to call the police if our children are not coming home on our city's school buses. This was a third-party school bus, not Long Branch, but it's, you know, he's a student of Long Branch Public Schools. So I would like to know that if my son is lost, I can call Long Branch Police. And I'm gonna find out who the dispatcher was. I might go down there and talk to him. This was just a couple hours ago, so I'm still shaken up. But I just wanna know that at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if our children are on the bus, we can't reach anyone at the school district at all. And the police are like, well, what do you want me to do? Call Marlboro. I'm like driving in a snowstorm. Christine was actually coming from New Brunswick, going to meet me there. She couldn't reach anybody either. So it was really scary for us today. So if we could figure that out, you know, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Requesting 1-minute notification, Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. On the agenda, R25118, the PV Hotel, otherwise known as Onata Surf Hotel. I'm requesting a no vote on the conditional redeveloper status for Kushner Companies. Until this council gets a handle on the public amenities and public accommodations, they should not be venturing anything with Kushner Development on the Onata Surf Hotel, which you refer to as PV Hotel, until public amenities and public accommodations are addressed. Again, requesting a no vote. At the bottom of tonight's agenda, it refers to Ordinance 2218 on beach fees, that it was removed October 24th agenda and not introduced. There was an amendment to Chapter 116 concerning the beach fees. Since that proposed ordinance has been voided, I would like to ask the council this evening, for the 2016 season, will the beach rates remain the same for daily badges? Yes or no?
2018?
2019?
You mean?
2019, you mean.
2016?
Next year is 2019, the 2019 beach
Yeah, we
season.
mentioned
You
that.
said 2016. That was the confusion.
We have no plans to, I'm not speaking for the council, I have no plans of changing the rates, at least from my perspective.
No change. All right, then we'll take it for the record. Beach rates will remain the same. Another matter that's...
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Not
what...
you said.
Is the question, is the beach rates going to change in 2019 from what they are now? The answer is no, they are
The
not.
daily,
I'm sorry?
the daily.
No, nothing.
All right.
Nothing.
We'll keep that for the record. Another development is Stella Maris in Elberon. We have an application for the next planning board meeting to subdivide the Stella Maris compound by the new owners, 981 Beachfront, into 4 separate lots with single-family houses on it. There's not much anybody can do because the religious order that had it eventually wanted the money, $18,284,400. But the timing can alert people in this city. If they want to prevent what Pier Village is about coming into Elberon, there is a revisit now to the master plan and zoning, and the residents of this city should be paying attention to it. Because in that Elberon right now, it's an R1 zone, residential building. So developers like Kushner could be looking at those beach clubs coming off line and being up for sale the way Takanasi was. In order to prevent this, I am suggesting that the R1 zoning for the Elberon oceanfront be changed to beachfront recreation. The beachfront recreation will preserve open space, keep a pristine appearance on the Elberon oceanfront, and may very well allow family-oriented activities similar to Point Pleasant, where we can start attracting families into this city again as a destination with something for kids to do on the oceanfront, which they don't have at Pier Village. And I don't want to hear the statement, we're going to give them a carousel. Kushner can keep the carousel. We want a Point Pleasant. And if we can get that oceanfront in Elberon, and particularly some of those beach clubs, which I'm sure convicted felon developer, which I'm certain convicted felon developer Kushner is going for right now, we will be moving to the city of Long Branch in a direction that Point Pleasant, Ocean City, and Wildwood would be. I'll keep it at that, but it's an important development in Elberon, and we need all to address it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lepore.
Hello, good evening. Patty Verrocchi, 246 Jerome Avenue, Oakhurst. I agree with what Rice was mentioning about the hecticness of today, and I know that there was a lot of things going on. And the last council meeting I was here, I know Lillian Grauman, who's not here tonight, and I both mentioned how it would be very helpful if there was a place for the people to get information, or that reverse 911, the Nixle. And I was surprised to see that that neighborhood app was installed and seems to be working somewhat, but I guess that relies on neighbors putting something up there, whoever is is in that app. Whether it's available on all phones, I don't know. But considering the craziness of the weather, the half-day, the incident, whether it was a shooting or what was going on Morris Avenue today, there was a lot of people that were very scared, especially the parents, when they were starting to get text messages from their children that were being locked down in schools. And there just has to be a better way of communication, I think, in getting the message out to people, for one. The other reason why I had wanted to come up tonight was there was some pictures that were posted on Facebook of the Trump helicopter flying over, I forget what night it was, if it was Friday night or Saturday night, and the Adams Street was blocked off, barricaded off. So we know Kushner's, the son-in-law is involved with Homeland Security and, could possibly be some of this reasons for what we were seeing. And again, there was no word to the public as to what was going on, just assuming and speculation. But are any of those expenses for security of the Kushner properties, Ocean Avenue, the helicopter landings, being burdened on the taxpayers?
So Patty, I don't know if I'm answering your question directly, but I'll tell you what I know. In other words, it's interesting because my brother called and had seen a motorcade of some sort there, so
Yes.
he said, because he lives near there. And then his wife at a different time saw some local PD officers.
Mm-hmm.
So I called Chief Roebuck to know if he had known anything about it. What he said is that he didn't identify what family member that was there, but there was obviously somebody there who was getting Secret Service protection, so obviously it was somebody with a family or something. Mm-hmm. And then I asked him that question. He said that typically the Long Branch Police Department is not really associated with what they did. They probably did close off. So I asked him, do you know what happened there? And he said that Long Branch PD would put cones and I guess close off Adams Street at their request. And then it was interesting because my brother had also said that there were grants available to do exactly what you're saying. In other words, they have a large extended family that is protected, and who incurs, the local municipalities responsible for incurring that expense.
Right.
So I mentioned that to the chief as well. He was aware that there were grants available, but didn't know that we qualified, and said that he would look into it, because my brother also indicated that he didn't know that the grants are just necessarily have anything to do with the amount of money that a municipality expended, mm-hmm. that you may in fact just be able to qualify for the grant just because you have someone, you're using them, whatever the figure is. Right. So he's going to look into that, is the bottom line. I don't know if that answers your question, but I'm guessing that without a grant, I don't know, maybe you would know that we have to incur those expenses, right? Yeah.
Right.
Well, I know that Vince Lepore had offered some information on that, so I was hoping to hear that response first before coming up and asking, but here I am. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Patty.
Is there anyone else?
Jack Mamie, Maplewood Avenue, Oakhurst. Just a couple of questions. So R245-18 about the roadway improvements. This, of course, I have to tie everything into the internet. I would recommend that you lay underground pipes when you do your roadway improvements, because it'll even if you don't move forward with the project, you can actually lease those to people that want to come in and lay up new lines, and they won't have to dig up the roads. So So I think that'd be a good idea when the roads are already opened up. You could just put them in and at a very minimal expense, and then it's a opportunity for the city to make money down the line with a lease agreement. My next question was on 248-18, the cooperative pricing system. Is that sort of like all the different municipalities get together and purchase in bulk to save money, or what is that all about?
That's pretty much it, right, Mike? Pretty much.
Okay. All right.
And you probably know we have several different agreements with various municipalities and groups and so forth.
Okay. So like a cost sharing kind of thing. Back to what Patty and Rice were alluding to at the police, I think it would be a good idea if that, I know in Ocean Township we have Nixle, where the police post out regular bulletins that it goes out to the residents. I believe the mayor also has an app called Report It, where people can submit reports anonymously to the mayor, and then he reads them all the time, and they make suggestions, they have complaints, they have other things, and it's just another way for people to get in touch with the administration.
Jack, we just had a meeting this week for that exact purpose, not necessarily for a particular app, but just how we can better communicate with residents on an ongoing basis.
All right.
And Jack, the idea with the roads is a very, very good idea, but I don't think it's going to work. You can't just put pipes down there, and whoever uses those pipes, they're not going to be responsible. They have to put their own pipes, to run their own wires in. You know what I mean? If we put pipes under the road, the company that's going to come in and wants to use those pipes, they're not going to use them. They won't be responsible to whoever puts the pipes, the right material down. I mean, it's a great idea, it might work, but I haven't seen it working yet in my experience.
I know Neptune has been doing it.
They've been putting pipes down?
They've been putting, well, communications pipes are all the same. They're made out of plastic.
Yeah, it's the plastic, the PVC.
Yeah, so if you lay them down in a certain way that everybody else does, I think they'll probably just lease them.
Mm-hmm. Something to look into. Thank you.
All right.
Anita Cravering, 161 Garrett Drive in Long Branch. I kind of agreed with Rice, and that the special needs registry. It's a very valuable and helpful resource for people with disabilities and their parents and their family members to make them aware of the information that could be available. So no incidents like Rice's son missing his bus would happen. Every time on the news, I see a lot of reports on the missing children, and most of these children that I hear of have special needs, whether it's autism or Down syndrome or any other disability. And if I could, I need to ask Rice, what can the special needs registry do to make them aware more, and make them communicate in the event of emergency that arises? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
there anyone else? I need a motion to close the public participation portion of this meeting.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We can take the listed resolutions as a consent agenda. I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Dr. Selly,
Yes?
Mrs. Wittes.
Yes. Okay. At this time, I would, as the miscellaneous business for the good of the order, Councilman Vieira?
Yes, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It was a really nasty out there. Thanks for coming, for supporting us. And Bryce, I'm really sorry for that. I know how you feel. It's tough. And we'll see what we can do on that. Communicate with the school and the police department together. And Vinny, I guess he's gone, Mr. Lepore. That was a very good idea with the beachfront north, which it sounds real nice. And we'll work hard on that. And I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and good night.
To you.
Councilwoman Vogt?
I agree with Mario. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. It was a tough night, but it was a good session. I particularly want to comment on Mike's comment, and you touched upon something that we have talked about a lot, which is civility in the way we interact together, civility in the way we run our meetings, civility in the way we treat each other. Several of us just attended the League of Municipalities conference, and there must have been I'm going to say 50 different workshops. Civility showed up on so many of them, and I think we're all so conscious of that. In the same way, Rice, you had to live through an unfortunate incident with your son, and Mike, you had an unfortunate incident, but it's something that we have talked about among ourselves in terms of how we promote civility within Long Branch and all of our interactions. So I just wanted to say it's not going unnoticed, and we know it's something that needs to be addressed. And let me also wish everybody happy Thanksgiving.
Councilwoman Selly?
I would just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and remember those that are in need. And there is always up at St. Luke's on Thanksgiving Day a Thanksgiving dinner for the community. So if you have no place to go, you have no family, that's a really good place to go because they welcome you with open arms. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Plum?
Yeah, I'm just sorry. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming this evening, for your comments. Wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. And also, I just wanted to point out, make mention of the fact that on Monday evening at 7 o'clock, Patty, if you wouldn't mind, I can send you the flyer as well. We're having a House of Worship Safety and Security program at Congregation Brothers of Israel on Park Avenue. That's 7 o'clock on Monday. That's sponsored by the Mayor, City Council, and the City of Long Branch Police Department. We've invited all the houses of worship, and it's open to anybody who wants to come as well. So if you have any interest in that, please attend. This coming Monday, the 19th at 7 o'clock, Congregation Brothers of Israel on Park Avenue. And thank you all.
And I too would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and hope you have, can enjoy your families and friends and think of those that, are not as fortunate as we are. And thank you for coming out tonight and have a good week. Thank you. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Good evening. That's very nice. Actually.